Alright, welcome to our Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer analysis slash things you missed slash whatever we think of while we're watching the trailer. Hello!
Man, AK is always so fast on the draw. Jeez.
Brought to you by Coors Light.
Oh, man.
But not really brought to you by Coors Light.
Sponsored, want to be sponsored. Any Coors reps in the chat, you hit me up.
Alright. So anyways, guys, you probably want to watch us watch the trailer, so we're going to do exactly that.
Yeah, you'll notice that our trailer video is not visible anymore, though.
Is that because we, like, rewound it and stopped playing it?
I don't know.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Alright. Are we talking through this one?
Yes, we are going to be talking through it.
That's a neat shot.
That is a really neat shot right there.
So,
right there.
Well, you know what? If we're going to take this frame by frame, we do need to go back to the first one right there.
So obviously, here's Kylo Ren, and he's at what we know is the old abandoned Imperial warehouse, which is now the First Order assembly line. Here.
Right, because their other clubhouse got blown up.
Yeah. I don't know if the mouse is going to show up.
It will not. It will not, because I'm having it capture VOC direct.
If you guys can see, like, you can see in the background there are walkers. You see them building a whole bunch of Imperial tank-like stuff, mostly the new Guerrilla Walkers. At least that's the street name is the Guerrilla Walkers. I think they're AT-ASQT or something like that.
iJosh64 actually pointing out that you can see traditional AT-ATs.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wow, yeah, if you look really hard.
That's cool. Thank you for that point out, iJosh. In fact, I guess before we get too far into this, we should say hello to everybody. Hello everyone, I guess.
That's right. If you are watching this in the future on YouTube, we are actually doing this live, but hey, don't go away if you're not watching live. If you're watching this in the future, we are going to be going through this trailer and pointing out things you missed, but we do want to say hello to our wonderful fans that are actually watching this right now while we're live. So hello, DZ Dog, iJosh, Cadnakoko or Cadnaneko.
Yeah, right. And a shout out to Clifford Longhead, who was second by milliseconds. Get burned. But we love you. Thank you so much. Trope Films, hello. Hello, everybody. So, this is, and Samuel Lee, I am Garrett. I play Rathnar and several other secondary segments in the Stupid Mario segments. I also co-produce video game fights and a lot of the lesser-known content on this channel, I suppose. Hello to you all. I guess some quick pointers on formatting. So, as far as shaping the discussion is concerned, we are going to go through the trailer shot for shot.
Right.
We're going to talk through it and whatnot. We will have moments where we stop and go, what do you guys think? We're going to do that a few times throughout the trailer and whatnot, and we will talk about them at significant points. Then at the end, at the very end, once we've done, you know, one whole thing, we're going to stop and we're just going to do questions. So if you want to hear questions about the speculation as far as, like, Rey's parents, who is Snoke, you know, like our theories on that, we're not talking about that during the trailer reactions, just too much to cover. Know that we will be addressing that kind of after the fact. Yeah. So, that's all good. Other than that, we're all good. We're going to watch the trailer. We won't be super in on chat at the moment. So, again...
bear with us for a minute.
Yeah, we got to watch. We got to get analysis. We're going to have lots of details here. If you have comments, please drop them. Please blast them. Like, we want to hear what you guys have to say, but we're going to get to chat kind of in segments tonight, just so we can address the trailer.
Cool.
So that was good.
Yeah. Now back to the trailer.
Yeah, warehouse, the traditional AT-ATs. This is kind of their new stomping grounds. I don't think there's any other significance to really glean from this particular shot.
Well, I mean, just the fact that a lot of people are like, well, didn't the First Order get annihilated with the, you know, Starkiller base? Well, I mean, think about it.
Did the Empire get annihilated with the destruction of either Death Star?
No. So, I mean, or even the Emperor himself. So, I mean, so it's just, you know, these things, these are galaxy, universe-wide, you know, affiliations here, and they're going to survive no
billions
matter what.
to trillions of people. Yeah, trillions. It have to be
Star Wars, and it apparently goes on forever. All
right.
Continuing.
When I found you.
Yeah, these are so dope. Also, the Upsilon shuttle, which is a fantastic piece in the X-Wing tabletop game. We are hitting hard, by the way.
Yeah.
I really love this. I really love the aesthetic of the Epsilon shuttle, Kylo Ren's shuttle.
So this is this planet is Crate. You can tell it's Crate because when they're hitting the ground, it turns red. Crate, of course, is covered in a white, salty kind of sand, and then underneath, like just like a couple inches underneath, is this red mineral stuff.
Yeah,
and the comic book, which is all about Crate, doesn't even come out till after this movie comes out, so we don't really know anything about it yet, except for that little. We see it in a few different moments in this trailer. We see the First Order fighting the Resistance on top, and then we also see Chewie flying inside the caves of it later.
Yeah,
same planet.
Both cool. For starters, really unique motif for a planet. very much can exist within, you know, the chemistry that we know exists in the universe.
Yeah.
And also just I love the contrast in the colors. Rian Johnson just knows how to work with red.
You know,
doesn't he?
I'll probably save this for the end, but I can't say enough good things about Rian Johnson, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we're big fans. So,
director of Episode 8. He should also have been announced as the director of Episode 9, but nope, they got J.J. Abrams back. That's another discussion.
I'm really hoping that 8 just destroys it so hard, and all the really, really crazy risks that he's taking, maybe just like... Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, yeah, so that is the Epsilon shuttle. As Garrett pointed out, that was Kylo Ren's main mode of transportation in The Force Awakens, although in this movie he has a new TIE Interceptor-looking ship that we'll see later on.
Right. Jax is wondering if you want coffee at Starbucks.
I sure do, and I want the salted caramel frap grande with almond milk instead of regular milk, and no whip.
That's... We just transmitted a coffee order via the internet on a public forum. Boom, done. Winning at YouTube.
Sweet. All right. So the last thing I want to point out about this beautiful shot is the gorilla walkers, as you see, have these little ridges on their forearms, these little ridge thingies, and that is to cut toe cables that might go around their legs.
They learned.
They learned. Exactly. So you can finally see that the Empire/First Order has finally learned their lesson. And they don't want their huge, expensive tanks being taken out by little tow cables.
Yeah.
Nope. These little ridges will just cut the tow cables as soon as they're there. So instead, the Resistance seems to be using these low-flying ships that we'll see. I don't know if we see it in this trailer. We definitely saw it in the last one.
Yeah. They're kind of wacky. I like them.
This is also Crate, you can tell from the red.
Yeah, kind of magma-y and whatnot.
And here is Kylo Ren with what I'm assuming is an unfinished background plate.
Yeah.
It just looks too plain. Alright, now that we're finally on this Rey igniting her lightsaber shot, I really want to talk about the dialogue that Snoke is saying. You know, when I first found you, I saw raw, you know, this raw power and everything. And we assume that he's talking about Kylo Ren.
That's sort of the implication.
It ends with Rey igniting her lightsaber, which... Again, there's a lot of misdirect in this trailer.
It's so sneaky all the time. Taylor's a sneaky bitch.
I think it's
I'm good,
possible.
Jax, thank you.
It's possible that he's actually talking about Rey. Maybe Snoke was the one that put Rey on Jakku in the first place.
Yeah.
And he was just saving her for later. Maybe he's still talking about Kylo. Who knows? This shot suggests that he's actually talking about Rey. But we'll see.
Right.
Great shot, by the way. The only thing I don't like about the shot is she's looking at that blue lightsaber for what looks like the first time, and she obviously has already fought with it. I just don't like the way she's looking at that lightsaber. That's one of the only negative things I have to say.
Also, isn't it like hard to stare directly into a plasma? Never mind. Yeah, Iris is like smoking.
Why is she looking at it like she's looking at it for the first time? That's what I don't understand. Maybe she just got scolded by Luke. I don't know. And also, the trailer stays on the shot a little too long.
It is a bit.
But I mean, for all of you fans of Rich Alvarez that are watching us, that are fans of us, like, you didn't just like, oh, Star Wars reactions. You know, you obviously, our Mario Legacy trailer came out very recently, and a big discussion while we were editing that was we shouldn't stay on shots too long. We got to keep things moving. Yeah. That shot lasted too long in this trip. Yeah. That's it. I don't think I have any other negatives.
We would have nixed that shot. We would have nixed that
shot.
Yeah.
That would have been like either gone or like half of that.
Yeah.
Here's Octu, another other great shots of Octu.
And she finally handed off the lightsaber. It's been a while.
You know, again, we're 40 seconds into the trailer. I just want to say Rian Johnson has confirmed many times that the first word spoken out of Luke's mouth is, "Who are you?" You know, so she's not his daughter. That we can just get rid of that.
Or if it's so many years removed that, like, you know, maybe he's confused. I don't like shooting things down. I don't like deconfirming things. I don't like dealing in absolutions before a movie comes out. That being said, I am on the board that it is extremely unlikely at this point.
I'm on board with the she's born from the Force, aka Anakin sort of style.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that boat too, but I'm willing to entertain that she's a Kenobi as well.
Oh, I would love if she was Kenobi. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would do something in my pants.
And yes, Luke is played by Mark Hamill.
Of course. Love that.
Great shots. Love those shots.
Look at Luke's face when, like, the ground breaks, assuming that the shot that we saw in the trailer is actually in the movie, what happens right before this moment. He's just like, holy shit!
Yeah. So, when I was watching a few reaction vids, including Knife Stalkers. Go check it out if you haven't, because he loses his mind, and it's so funny. Knife Stalkers in chat right here. So, anyway, I was watching a few reaction trailers, and I think a lot of people in their excitement and like just low grade analysis when people were like frothing at the mouth when this thing first came out, thought that Luke did that.
Oh, yeah.
That Luke was creating the shock. But, like, I think you could see as we free-framed here, it is very clearly...
Not his.
Not his. He's surprised by that. Rey did that. That's Rey's power. So
a lot of people are talking about how scared Luke is in this trailer throughout. And you have to remember, this man, at this point, this is a man who almost brought his father back from the brink. I mean, technically he did, but then his father died immediately afterwards. He tried to train his nephew, and then his nephew just annihilated every other student that he had. And now he's been living in secret.
Stole a few of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Stole a few of them. Yeah, over.
And now he's...
Although, you do note that, like, even though they talk about the Knights of Ren and this big posse that he had of Force users, they're all gone.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't show up. We have no idea what happened to them.
Right.
You know, so, maybe like, they're still out there.
Luke is just like his life. What is his life now? He's just been living with porgs on Ahch-To, you know. Like,
yeah, right.
There's this theory that like he speaks to the Force through the porgs, and the porgs actually have the Force in some way. I don't know about that, but
Force sensitive.
I love porgs.
Really cool.
Look, I got a porg right here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a big one too.
Yeah. You know, they're fun, but, you know, who knows? All I know is that, you know, people are like, you shouldn't be so scared, he's Luke Skywalker. Dude, the man has been through some shit, all right? Like, give him a break.
And actually, the next line that he speaks kind of speaks to that. Yeah. So why don't we play that?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Dope. And it's flashback when Kylo destroyed his temple. All right, let's pause right there.
That is what you just
Look
said.
Look at that face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's frightened.
He's seen this raw power before. It didn't scare him enough then. It does now. He's just, you know, and I think it's like he wants to, you know, he's thinking about training Rey, but then he sees her do this stuff and he's like, never mind, get out of here.
Yeah, you're way too much.
The ongoing theory now is that she'll take off in the Millennium Falcon and she'll leave disappointed that Luke wasn't willing to train her. Like all these little training moments that we've seen in the trailers maybe happens over the course of a couple days and then it's like, nope. Nope, never mind. I've seen too much.
I am not doing this. You are a liability.
And then, you know, of course, we know that his X-Wing is actually hidden underneath the water of this planet, so maybe we'll see a cool moment like Yoda where he takes it out of the water and then...
That would be a good little revival. Yeah. It's like, oh, look, I can do this now, and it's easy.
When he starts believing in himself again and then he goes off to fight Kylo or Rey.
Yeah.
You know, anyways, we'll get there when we get there. People have tried to identify this symbol that's on the ground, and it doesn't really match with anything we know from Star Wars yet, or at least no one has brought it out. I feel like it'll be something in the movie, or it won't.
What is that?
This symbol on the ground right here.
I think that's the Jedi symbol.
You know, I think it's compared it to like every different Jedi symbol, and it doesn't really look like any of them.
Right.
Maybe it's his new Jedi Order symbol.
Like
who knows?
the half, like because this looks that you guys can't see where I'm pointing, but the kind of the left one kind of crests up like the Jedi, but the right one is clearly something else.
Yeah, so it's a new symbol probably.
Could be just wrecked.
They got to sell new toys, you know.
Yeah, could be wrecked.
Anyways, again, going back to his face, he's scared. He's done with this thing, so I think he trains Rey for like 2 days, gives up, and then eventually he'll come back.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to like Rey possibly going dark in a minute. Like, she's like, oh, why are you leaving me? There's Kylo Ren. He's looking at his mask like, I don't know, like smashes his helmet.
Yeah, he's just upset to be him right now.
Look at this sweet ass.
A TIE silencer. What a sexy ship. I love the TIE fighter motif. I love, you know, the aesthetics of TIE fighters, and I love that the last time that they really did something bold with the TIE design was Darth Maul's ship.
This is a TIE Interceptor that went to a industrial golf club and came back as this thing.
Yeah.
And man, it looks sick as hell, and I can't wait for him to go on whatever little adventure he's going on here.
Yeah, the one to kill his mom.
Well, I think that is a product of editing deception.
You know what? There is a ton of editing deception in here.
I don't think he's actually going to shoot down his mother's ship. I do think that Leia will die in this movie. It only makes sense.
Right.
But
a lot of people will challenge you on the basis that
I know that there's been mixed reports whether or not she is in Episode 9.
Yeah,
but
JJ has indicated that he was intending to include her, but I think that tweet came from before a time that Rian Johnson came out. Kathleen Kennedy, on the other hand, has said that she would rather not like to include her, not even on a canonic level, but just out of respect. She doesn't like the idea of Leia,
anything, whether it's recasting or CGI or anything.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be done.
It just seems unfaithful to Carrie Fisher.
And it might be too soon to kill her off in this movie, seeing as she died. But I mean, I don't know, they killed off Han in the last one. I know he wasn't dead in real life, but I think that just from a story point of view, if you're not going to have Leia in the 9th movie, I do think she needs to be killed off.
It would be kind of inappropriate for her to just phase out.
I don't think this is how she dies, though. I think this is just a super cock tease, right?
I think this is Well done, cock tease, though.
Look at that. That's probably not even what's on the screen in his ship at that moment.
Oh, it's so good! Oh man,
Christmas.
When I saw that, when I saw that, I was like I physically white knuckled my fingers because I was like, I don't think that's how it happens. I don't think that's how it happens, but that was really well done. Ooh, yeah.
So again, going back to Crate, this is the inside of Crate. We could see Chewie and the Porg flying through Crate, and you could see all like the crystallized red minerals, and that's what we're seeing when the walkers hit the ground, and then when those ships are flying across the sand, and you see the red stuff coming out of the ground. This is what you're seeing.
Weird crystal-y
red mineral stuff. So we can bet that. Look at that Porg.
I know. Also, a very
yeah, there's Poe.
I noticed there's a lot of CG in Chewie's face, more so than we've seen previously.
Yes, everyone. I mean, obviously in the 70s and 80s it wasn't possible to CG, but like even in the prequels when they had Chewie in Episode 3 and then in Episode 7, everyone chose to do practical, and you know JJ's like, oh, practical, and then for all his practical talk, he did use a lot of CG, which I don't mind. I don't mind CG when it's used well. Rian Johnson, I love how, and again, I'll say it again. I say this in every video. I love how Rian Johnson's like, hey, remember when JJ wanted to do that?
Guess what?
And I'm doing my
I don't care!
And like JJ was like, you know, like when Rian Johnson first got hired, he's like, okay, here is who Snoke is, and here is who Rey's parents are. And he's like, that's nice. Get rid of that. And he's just making up his own stuff. And I like that, because here's the thing about JJ. If you've seen any JJ thing, think Lost. He starts out with great mysteries, doesn't exactly tie them together really well.
Lost was kind of
Super 8 too, you know, it's just like, eh. Yeah, he starts good things and then can't end them. So I'm looking forward to Rian Johnson just taking a big old dump on all of those ideas, and making some actual like ingenious things. Sadly, JJ's coming back for 9, but hopefully Rian Johnson mixed it up enough where he can't tie it together.
He's more down on JJ than I am. I would, you know, while I do prefer Rian Johnson, I wouldn't say I'm quite as down on JJ.
Nah, it's all right.
Yeah, right.
So, anyways, we saw the inside of Crate, and that was great. Here's Poe getting attacked or something.
Yeah. Also, what was that? Like external thruster on an X-wing?
Yeah, it has like an extra little.
Yeah, it's got like a crazy ion booster or something.
Okay, here is the Phasma and Finn fight we were denied in The Force Awakens. Everyone was like, you know, the traitor guy, traitor! Everyone was like, why couldn't that be Phasma? And actually have like a cool fight between Finn and Phasma.
Thank you.
I think they listened to the fans, and here is that Finn and Phasma fight.
Also,
this is that same Imperial.
What is going on here?
Yeah, this is that same First Order base that we saw at the beginning of the trailer with Kylo, although
in
now
flames,
and we can see Finn in his Imperial outfit.
I do really like that they brought back the Tonfa style like force weapon. It's not a force weapon, it's like an electrolysis weapon.
Yeah.
Very kind of old Republican, I like it.
Yeah.
So that's all good. Yeah. Anyway. I'm really curious about like Finn's outfit here.
Oh yeah,
he's clearly not a prisoner.
No. We know from some of the behind-the-scenes footage that him and the new character Rose impersonate Imperial officers so that they can break into this installation and destroy everything, and it looks like they succeed.
Yeah, they probably get it done to a degree. You know, I think a lot of people were looking at that and maybe didn't know that information. They're like, why is Finn wearing an Imperial officer's outfit again? Yeah. Did he have a change of heart? So...
No, this is they sneak into the base. That's all I'm going to say. I couldn't think of what I wanted to say, but I said it.
What a cool shot! I'm a big Gwendolyn Christie fan, too.
Look at that
She's great.
Oh, what's that thing? Let's go back.
Wait, what does Luke say there?
Not going to go.
Oh, this is not how I'm going to go, and then he later says how you think it's going to go. Yeah, love this little guy. The ice crystal links.
Oh, man.
Or it's like salt crystal links? I don't know. Either way, it's so neat.
Yeah, whatever that is, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, Crate also.
Yeah, also that quick little shot of Carrie Fisher while the door is closing, I think it's one of my favorite shots of the trailer.
Absolutely.
They did a great job in making literally every Carrie Fisher shot just golden.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Here's what I want to point out about Rey coming out of this like mysterious pool thing.
Yeah.
This like little lake. She goes in and she comes out. So everybody knows the famous scene of Luke in Empire Strikes Back going into the cave and fighting Darth Vader, and it's revealed that it is himself. I think that this is Rey's moment like that. Everybody has to go through a Jedi trial or a test, you know. I think that this is, you know, because we know Octu is very strong with the Force. That's why Luke is there. I think that this is at least part of her test. She's going to go in the water, do some scary shit, and then come back out and be like, "Oh God!"
It's because of I don't want to speak for anybody, but I believe that motif is literally ripped from Beowulf, because like old Beowulf mythos, he goes into the cave and fights the she-demon, and that's like when he emerges and is like, you know, figures like finds compassion, but you know, like all this sort of stuff. That's like his big turnaround moment, and all of the monomyth kind of like formulaic episodic nature of mythos that have been told since then follows that. Star Wars takes it a very literal dimension in the fact that they put people in caves for their transformational moment, and I think that's fine. Yeah.
It's Finn again.
Great shots.
Oh, here's more ships crashing on Crate with the red stuff coming out.
Oh, you can't.
Okay.
Why you missed the Snoke face reveal?
Well, I was going back. There we go. Okay, so here we see Snoke in the flesh for the first time. We're not including that little Lego thing a month ago.
I think he's Gold Member from Austin Powers.
Looks like the Gold Member thing. I was really not okay with his gold suit when I first saw it. Seeing it now, I'm like, okay, fine. But here's the thing. The funny thing about Snoke is, out of all of the Black Series pop figures and everything, Black Series, pop figures, those are two different things, Snoke sold the least. In fact, it was like a record low for Star Wars figures. Nobody cares about Snoke. And I think that was partially the fault of JJ and The Force Awakens, just kind of like not giving us enough
They kept him pretty far in the dark.
And everyone's like, is he Plagueis? Is he not Plagueis? Is he anyone? And now they're still saying, oh, he's just a character we've never seen or heard of before. And I think that is a huge missed opportunity, personally. If he's not Darth Plagueis, and chances are he's not, then I'll be disappointed. But that's okay.
Also, wasn't Darth Plagueis not human?
Well, in old canon, he wasn't human. They can do whatever they want.
There is no official canon for Plagueis.
The only canon for Plagueis is what Sidious actually said in Episode 3, where, you know, have you ever heard the legend of Darth Plagueis?
Yeah, okay.
You know, that's the only thing we know. We know that he was the one that trained Sidious / Emperor Sheev Palpatine, and
I liked the Windu theory. I liked it, but it's pretty clearly not true at this point.
I mean, if it was, then Samuel Jackson would be like, how come I'm not playing Snoke? You know?
Yeah, right? Also, Snoke is very clearly Caucasian.
Yeah. Or something.
Yeah, or, you know, just not very, very noticeably anything that could have been Samuel L. Jackson at some point.
Yeah. Snoke is Snoke. I don't think that he's anything, which, again, is disappointing. To a degree, because it would have been nice.
Snoke is confirmed as an alien?
It would have been really nice if Plagueis, you know, trained Palpatine to kind of carry out this thing until he was ready to come in and do it all, but, you know, who knows? If at the last minute they decide that this is Plagueis, then great, but right now I don't think they're doing it right.
I don't think so.
Whatever. This is what he looks like. He's an ugly, gross guy. And he's doing some weird shock treatment thing to Rey, where she's like in place and she's shaking.
Yeah, she's like horizontal, and it
they were like,
sucks.
Oh, we've done Force Lightning too many times. What do we do? Oh, how about she stands in, you know,
a lot of the games have like a Force Crush ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every single Star Wars RPG and video game has an ability where you just hold an enemy in place and just
Force seizure or something. I don't know.
And you just like, you know, fuck with their organs. We haven't seen it in the movie yet, though. Good shot, though.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
This is completely misdirect right here.
It was good. It was good, though. It wasn't quite as good as the Leia one, but
the funny thing is, you can clearly see that Rey and Kylo are in two completely different places. Let's go back.
Right.
It's like, here she's in this dark room, and they've illuminated a light on her, and there's nothing in the background but black, so she's obviously in some kind of cave with a lantern or something, probably with Luke, and then all of a sudden, smoke, fire with Kylo. These are two very different moments, I believe. And they're just, again, magic of editing, they put them together, like, is she gonna join Kylo? But here's the thing, again, it's like misdirect, but not misdirect, because I am starting to get on the train that Rey actually does go bad, which will be, you know, terrible for Luke, you know, because then it's just...
Then he's totally fucked it up, yeah.
But
she was very clearly... So there was a moment in time during the... Also, this awesome Dominant 7th version of the Star Wars theme, like really... That was really good. There was a big moment in Force Awakens, probably my most talked about moment is, or two of them, when Kylo's messing with her brain. And then all of a sudden she just force intuitions him right back.
Yeah,
and
will never be as strong as Darth Vader.
And then he goes and bitches to Snoke about it, and it's just like, I can't believe she did that. He was obviously.
Yeah, and he's like, bring her to me.
And then
screw you, I want her.
Yeah, exactly. And then later when she fought him, that was not like a very that was clearly not like a disciplined hand sort of guiding her consciousness during that Kylo fight. It was pretty savage.
I think, here's what my theory is, and I'm probably totally wrong. I think that about 20 minutes before the end of the movie, Snoke is going to convince Rey to turn to the dark side, but she has to fight Kylo one more time. And they have to fight to see who gets to be the apprentice. I know they're not technically Sith anymore, but so they fight,
Rule
and
two's been working this long.
Rey is going to beat Kylo, and then Kylo is going to escape with his life, and then be like, you know what? I probably shouldn't have killed my dad. And then the cliffhanger will be he's on the light side now, and she's the new dark side. And then because people are like, well, if Rey's not the daughter of Luke, then it kind of goes against the whole Skywalker, because episode 1 you have Anakin. And then it transitions into Luke in the original trilogy. It's like the Star Wars movies, besides the spin-offs they're making, the Star Wars core movies have always followed the Skywalker family. And if it follows Rey and she's not a Skywalker, then it's kind of going against that. But what if it then goes back to Ben Solo, who is technically a Skywalker? He is
50% Skywalker.
Yeah, he is the son. He's just as much a Skywalker as anyone. Then the last movie follows Kylo on his redemption path of, and then he maybe even just changed his name to Ben Skywalker at that point,
Oh, interesting.
I think that he will actually turn out to be the protagonist, and this whole story was really about him, and then Rey is this weird anomaly born from the Force that is, pure dark side or
kind
something.
Kind of chaotic and whatnot.
Yeah, who we thought was this charming girl at first, and now she's totally evil.
Yeah, somebody clearly locked her in, although that really begs the question of why didn't they kill her? But maybe it was Snoke that locked those memories away.
Who knows? Yeah,
who knows? He's
so,
obviously powerful.
That's my thing. I think that in the last movie, at least by the last movie, hopefully at the end of this movie, Rey will be the dark side, Kylo will be the light, and he'll be Ben at that point. And we're going to be following him in he has to either turn Rey back or kill her. It'll be more satisfying if he kills her. Yeah. And obviously kill Snoke too. Maybe Snoke even dies in this movie. That's what I think. Just get rid of him.
Yeah. No, I don't think that quite as much. I do think we'll see a moment where Kylo probably ditches the First Order in Snoke and does start going by Ben Solo again.
I mean, look at that moment where he's even conflicted to maybe shoot his... If it's not shooting his mom and that's missing...
Whatever he's doing, he's
he's conflicted
problematic about it. It's not good.
It's like Catholic guilt, but Jedi guilt, whatever the equivalent is.
Yeah, he's having trouble. He's having a lot of trouble.
So, whatever it is, all I know is that Rian Johnson promised us that we're in for surprises and things that we have never expected from Star Wars before. And I think, whatever happens, I'm excited about it, even if it's not what I think.
And if Rey does go bad, it does imply that she may be on the chopper. She may be on the chopper to be a fatality. Which I know I know there's a handful of you very dedicated Star Wars fans out there that would maybe like to see Rey go because she somehow spits in the face of what you expect regular Star Wars to be. Yeah. I have no idea what that is, but whatever.
So that's the end of the trailer. So now we can talk. Okay, we were sitting like this before we watched the trailer, which made sense. If we're sitting back here, I can.
I'm sitting back here.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna go like that.
I'm sitting back
here.
Woo!
Look at that. So comfortable now. So now we can talk about more general things.
Like Jill, but can I Jill? Bridge Alvarez 2017.
Yeah, pretty much. So, just talking about the overlay of Star Wars, the new trilogy. I'm really looking forward to Rian Johnson's movie. And I can't imagine I'll be disappointed with Episode 8 because just everything that Rian Johnson has done.
Went into Episode 7 with some uncertainty. Yeah. And I think, I will say, just right out the gate before I say anything, I was a fan of Episode 7, and I did enjoy it. I felt it was safe. And I felt that maybe a lot of the overarching plot was a bit predictable. I will say that I really fell in love with the characters, and I did like the progression of things. Few lost opportunities. Wasn't a perfect movie. I did enjoy it. I would rank it well, and I will watch it again and again. Yeah. However, we got a totally different thing on the chopper now with Rian Johnson. I mean, this could be very Star Wars, this could be something we've never seen from a Star Wars movie before.
Right.
Not since the likes of Empire, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, even more so.
Going into this trilogy, Kathleen Kennedy originally offered J.J. Abrams the entire trilogy. But he turned it down because, there's no way I can work on 3 huge movies back-to-back like this. And then he was like, okay, well, let me just do the first one. So he did the first one, and then per his agreement with Paramount, he was supposed to do a Paramount movie afterwards. Instead, he took a couple years off. And then they hired Rian Johnson to do episode 8. And then they hired Colin Trevorrow to do episode 9. Then Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, and Pablo Hidalgo, and probably a couple other Lucasfilm executives sat down and watched episode 8, and they're like, whoa, this is really good. Colin Trevorrow. I loved Colin Trevorrow, but he's kind of a funny director. If you guys seen Jurassic World, you know he's kind of like tongue-in-cheek. You know,
yeah, it was good for Jurassic World, but...
Yeah, especially after Carrie Fisher died, and they knew that they were going in a darker direction, especially after seeing what Rian Johnson did. They're like, sorry, Colin, you're out. And I believe the original intention was that they were kicking him out so that Johnson could continue what he started with episode 8. And they were like, okay, how about $20 million? And he's like, you know what? I really need to spend some time with my family. I've been working on Star Wars for 2 years. And they're like, oh, okay. J.J. Abrams! Here's what they should have done. Oh, so, okay, sorry, 20 million's not good enough. How about 40 million? And he would have been like, oh, okay. But no...
Well, how much would it cost to build a house?
Yeah, on set.
Bring society on set for your family. I know, and I'm sure that I don't know. Maybe like I said, maybe it will receive such renowned praise, and there will be such an outcry that
they have to bring it. Yeah,
I'm one of those wait until the fat lady sings kind of thing. I am going to wait until episode is done before I explore any of these so-called confirmed episode 9 anything. It's
because
totally not
what happens now is that they ended up they were going to pay him $20 million. He said no, and they didn't offer him. Their first mistake was not offering him a bigger salary. Their second mistake was going after JJ. So they paid JJ $15, and I think they're saving $5 million. But then Paramount's like, wait a minute. We have a contract with JJ. He's only supposed to make movies for us. He's under contract. He gets $10 million a year for doing nothing, just for being under our contract. They were like, we let The Force Awakens slide because they're like, okay, Star Wars, once in a lifetime. But then to do another Star Wars, he hasn't made a Paramount movie since Into Darkness in 2013. They were pretty pissed off. So Disney ended up having to pay Paramount $100 million just to get him out of that contract. So, in other words, it has cost them $115 million now for J.J. Abrams when they could have offered Rian Johnson $40 million to keep him for episode 9. So this is Hollywood, guys. This is super stupid and ridiculous.
So much money getting thrown around just for these sort of motifs and whatnot. But, that's all good.
Anyways, yeah, so we'll see. Maybe JJ will step up finally and actually do a good final movie. And who knows. But anyways, going back to episode 8 specifically, what do you think of Porgs?
I love Porgs.
Yeah.
I know a handful of the really OG Star Wars fans looked at Porgs and they were like, God damn it, it's Ewoks 2.0, the super shitty sequel. And I'm like, I don't know where you're getting that from. Like,
yeah, Porgs are literally...
Can it not,
they might even transmit the Force, like I said. Who knows? Yeah. But I think that overall, they're really just there to look cute. I don't think they're going to, take down the First Order or throw rocks and slingshots. They're not going to be
I just think Force says you're better than Hollywood.
Thank you.
Sour cheese is better than Hollywood sometimes, so...
of course, everybody knows, who follows this channel, that my goal as a kid was to become, a Hollywood director, but knowing what goes on in Hollywood, I don't even know if I'm about that. I know that I don't make any money off this YouTube thing, but I like being able to just, do whatever I want when I want it without having to,
That's kind of cool.
Do things I don't want to do.
Shooting YouTube videos in your studio is pretty neat.
Yeah, so there's that. Also, we're working on something super secret. Which was relevant, but we can't talk about it.
It's so hard not to talk about it!
And we're not talking about Super Mario Legacy, because that's almost done. We've only got maybe 2 or 3 filming days left of Super Mario
We filmed for Legacy all day today.
Yeah, well, that's what we were doing all day, was filming Legacy stuff, and then we're almost done with that. And then really it's up to special effects. We're 90% gonna make that November 25th date.
It's just like it was with Plumber Night. Yeah. We're waiting on special effects.
There's a slight chance we might not make that November 25th date.
We'll be so close if we don't.
Yeah, it'll be the week afterwards if anything else.
Yeah, it'll be a matter of days. It won't be like that month-long delay.
But I would be lying, and we are trying our best to finish that and make it good, but I'd be lying if I said that that's where my heart was, because my heart is actually on this secret project that we're doing after Legacy.
Right. We have become so dedicated to finishing Legacy. And we've become so dedicated to making it good, and so dedicated to making it absolutely what it needs to be. so that we can do this other thing.
Yeah, we're like, let's please finish this so we can move on to the thing we have afterwards.
Yeah. Can we tell them about the format it's going to be portrayed in and the idea that...
I'm going to trust you to tell them without spoiling, because I'll spoil. I'll be like, oh, well, it's this and this. Oh, shit.
No, just the idea of, like, what kind of show it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so, you heard it here first. We haven't said anything about this on YouTube, so... Can I tell them about...
Secret project?
Yeah, can I tell them about when we're going to find...
Oh, sure.
So, two things that have not been propagated to the public yet. One, after Legacy is done, as you know, we are putting Stupid Mario on the shelf. We're not done. It's not like...
Yeah, we're not saying we'll
it's
never
not like
pick it
it's
up
on the
again.
chopper and it's gone. We are just simply lifting it up and we are putting it on the shelf. We are no longer going to be actively producing Stupid Mario in a meaningful way.
Right.
Secret Project is going to start up. Secret Project is going to be an episodic series of...
Not Stupid Mario.
But it is going to be an episodic series.
Yeah, we are working on a project that, like you said, is episodic, and it has a budget comparable to Stupid Mario, probably even bigger than Stupid Mario.
I would say this next project is basically just the best minds who have contributed to Stupid Mario, the best minds that we've ever worked with with the most resources we've ever had. I mean, it's kind of like starting fresh with a new board over everything that Rich has learned over the last 10 years to create a good series.
I mean, yes, because Stupid Mario has always used, like, the same locations. We are building sets for this new show.
There's set construction going on.
Yeah, going hard into the computer. It's going to be insane.
We have a growing squadron of special effects artists. This is going to be, I mean, it's going to probably be the most, at least legitimate production. Hopefully you guys like it. You know, that'll still be subject to this thing. We're really hype on it. But as far as, like, have we ever gone to this lengths to make an actual, like, full-scale production of somewhat professional quality? Probably not. Probably not.
So you're going to get Stupid Mario Legacy, which will be fine, and then you're going to get this huge, massive project, serialized show that you didn't even know was coming, and it's going to be the biggest, best thing we've ever done.
And
it's not Mario related.
And it's not at all Mario related. It's not even Nintendo related. So
it's not Fallout related either.
Yeah, it's not Fallout related either.
But that's all we can say.
Yeah, that's all we can say. And then the last thing that I'll say is the teaser for this particular project will be
connected.
Will be the after credits scene in Legacy.
Yeah, again, and that doesn't mean that it is connected in any way to Super Mario Legacy. It's not like a secret ending where it's like, oh, this takes place. It does not take place in the same
literally, like, the credits will end, and, like, maybe even just us being like, hello, thank you for watching, da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, here's this other thing, roll clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah, here's the next project from us.
Yeah. So, that's all good.
Yeah. So there's that. Anyway, it's for, it was probably back on the subject. So anything else you want to say about episode 8? It looks awesome.
Yeah, no, I can't talk anymore about the project because I literally am, like, chewing on words that I know will reveal what it is. I am, like, choking on it.
I almost revealed something a second ago.
I know. I watched you swallow it, and I know you watched me swallow it, too, where I'm like... Okay. Just know that the episodic style content that you've come to expect from the Rich Alvarez content will continue in the form of an entirely new serial. After Legacy, pretty much production begins immediately, and it is not at all connected to Legacy, and you will see the teaser after the credits.
Are you comfortable answering, like, some of these questions?
All right, yeah, let's see. Did we make up the characters for it? Yeah. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
I mean, yeah, they're all original characters.
They are original. Yeah, the characters are original. It is, yeah. Yeah, right.
Entirely new cereal.
Yeah, right. Are we going to monetize it?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a immensely expensive production. We absolutely are going to monetize it. It is the kind of thing that we're hoping to create a show out of this.
DZ Dog, I don't imagine any video game characters would show up in it. I don't imagine.
No, I can't either. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. So that's all good. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's other questions, but it would give away too much.
Yeah, right. A troll film saying that SMD movies have traditionally ended on such a terribly sad note. Please don't do that. At which point I'm just gonna go, Maybe. Maybe not. Because that is classic misdirection, which we saw in this trailer right here.
Yeah.
I guess it's right here. Where is it?
This trailer.
Yeah. Oh. Yep. Okay. Right there. Yeah. This employs misdirection. I employ misdirection on a less subtle level. Oh man. So let's see. I
mean, that's really it. Anything else is going to be too spoilerific, and we're horribly off subject now because we started talking about our own thing.
I know.
But anyways, guys.
Let's take some questions.
Oh, let's take some questions. Okay, I guess we
might
as well.
I know a lot of you guys have been getting antsy because we've been ignoring chat this whole time. So if you've got, we're not going to answer any more questions pertaining to Legacy, and we're not going to answer any more questions pertaining to Secret Project. But if you've got a theory, if you want our thoughts on anything Episode 8 related, if you want our thoughts on anything pertaining to kind of the current existence of Star Wars, let them have it. Let's go.
Star Wars.
Yeah, right?
Episode 8, Episode 9. Anything you want to talk about? Trailer. Our opinions. Do you think our opinions suck during this whole thing?
Yeah, right? Are we wrong?
Is
right?
Snoke Voldemort?
Is Snoke Voldemort? He's got a little bit of a Voldemort-y vibe. I will say that. He's got kind of the deranged, mutated-looking killer.
Oh, here's my favorite. Who is worse, Palpatine or Voldemort? And I love putting out, because people are like, oh, well, Voldemort is like, there's no...
That's a tough one.
For me, there's no contest. Like, Palpatine literally destroyed entire planets of people.
I mean, Palpatine was more efficient, but Palpatine also just had more hardware at his disposal.
It's true.
Yeah, would Voldemort kill planets if he had the Death Star?
If they were full of Muggles, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say he would. So, like, we have this problem of scale, you know, kind of coming about. A few people are asking about SMB Animated. Anything on SMB Animated?
We'll see.
It remains in production. Again, that's a tough one because we are working entirely with an external animator on that.
Yeah.
So
it's up to the animator.
Yeah, we are basically at this point. It's still a thing right now, but we are working with the animator to get that. As soon as the animator tells us something, we will tell you something.
Mr. Ninja says, who do you think is the official Last Jedi? And, you know, of course, that's been the much subject of debate for some reason. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Because I really think that this is, like, it doesn't really mean that there's a person who's the Last Jedi, I feel like. I feel like they mean it's the Last Jedi as in plural. Mm-hmm. In fact, the way that, you know, because in some countries, Jedi has a plural, and they use that plural in the title.
German specifically. So, if I can speak on how this was kind of debunked. In German... like in English, obviously, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Jedi could be implicitly plural, or it could be implicitly singular. The words like this exist in the English language, but in German they do not. So a lot of people turned towards the release poster in the German version, and they noticed that Jedi, or the word that would be Jedi, was contextualized as plural. So we use that context clue as an indicator that in the motif of The Last Jedi, they are referring to a group. They are referring to a group, not an individual. So I wouldn't call that a confirmation per se, but that is kind of a linguistics thing. So I would say we have that to work with on a fairly solid level.
Adam Bernstein is pointing out that, or who said this? Oh, it was actually JT Man 620 said Jedi is both a plural and a singular, and yet he would be correct in English.
Yeah, in English that's correct,
Germany,
but in German you cannot have words like that in German. Is my understanding.
So it is a plural in Germany, which means that it's just a plural. That's what they went with.
I'm not sure if it's like the language didn't, or just like the German poster clarified it, but anyway, we see through other non-English serializations of the poster.
So yeah, I think
it
goes with the message of the movie. Like Luke says in the first trailer, it's time for the Jedi to end. In The Last Jedi, that means this is really the end of the Jedi.
Yeah, the last generation of Jedi.
That really makes me feel like Rey is going to the dark side, and you know, so it's like the Jedi is ending, but the Jedi could come back. So the next one would be called like Return of the Jedi again or something.
Yeah. Let's see. Knife Stalker's asking your thoughts on Rebels.
I love Rebels.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for season 4.
I haven't watched a lot of Rebels. I know you have, Knife Stalker.
Like the first season of Rebels was meh. The second one was
first season of Clone Wars was really mad though.
Yeah, the first couple
that's kind of how they work. That's kind of how they work.
But man, season 3 of Rebels, oh man, solid stuff happened. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So,
and as we pointed out, Marty, man, the pluralization of Jedi implies that it could be both of them.
Yeah.
Or neither of them. But yeah, it basically we don't have to choose.
And again, Marty, man, and everyone again. It doesn't mean a specific Jedi. It's the Jedi.
Or it doesn't have to.
Yeah,
it could, but it doesn't have to, if that's the case. So if you're in your mind locked in there, like really sweating it out as far as like, who is the Last Jedi? Who is the Last Jedi? Understand that you don't necessarily be having to have that conflict, because...
I mean, if you want to get super technical, the Last Jedi really died with Anakin Skywalker, because I mean, Luke was not properly trained at all, and was not part of the. There was no temple. He he built his new temple, but let's face it,
we still don't know where Ahsoka is running around.
True blue Jedi Order is gone, and so the Jedi have been gone for a while.
Yeah,
Ahsoka, I believe, is going to be, if she's not dead yet, she will be dead by the end of Rebels, because she's such a prominent
They've
character.
Really teased it a few times, and they gotta deal with her because she's not in the movie.
Yeah, she would have showed up in those original movies if she was a character. If she wasn't, so she's got to be taken care of at some point before that.
Right. Let's see.
Thoughts on Ezra in Rebels? He's a little bitch.
I don't think quite that hard, but I would put him in that sort of category. Maybe not a superheroic character. So that's all good. Let's see. Knife Stalker just says Maul, which is totally something Knife Stalker would say.
Marty Man says Rey wasn't trained at all, and yet she somehow outsmarted Kylo Ren, which again goes back to this: she was just born from the Force.
She doesn't remember being trained,
or she doesn't remember. Either her memories were wiped and she was previously trained, or she's just born from the Force and has a natural gift for it.
Yeah,
one of those things is true.
And we agree with you, Moonday. That was what we were talking about a few minutes ago. Jedi could be plural. Ahsoka lives out. Jackie's hunting.
You shut your mouth, Alvarez.
Yeah, right. That's all good. Quite a few people are asking about, like, do you think Rey is going to make it to the end of episode 9? You mentioned earlier in your other serial that you do that, whether you think it or not, but you plausibly believe that she.
It'll just be so boring if she goes after Kylo and he's evil and she kills him and she's celebrate. I'm tired. I love celebrations in Star Wars, but I've seen enough of them. I really want tragedy in this thing, man. She's gonna turn dark. He's gonna kill her, and there's gonna be no solace for anyone.
Yeah, no, and before I would say I am of the opinion that it is more likely that she survives the trilogy than not, but I'm not going to say that strongly. I think it's still very probable that we could see Rey die.
Whether she's good or bad, I really would like to see Rey die in episode 9, and not because I'm like, die, just because I feel like
we need to mix it up. We've been there. Certainly.
No celebrations either way. She needs to die so that she's
any ending's got to be kind of bittersweet, so that's all good. And then will Finn and Poe sort of thing.
Finn might die. Poe will survive. I feel like
I'm of the opposite. I think they'll keep Finn. I think they'll kill Poe.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think Poe is on the ice.
One of them will die.
I wouldn't put it out of the question that Poe doesn't make it through episode 8. Mm. Yeah, I think we may very well see a Poe death in episode 8.
Oh, Marty Man brings up an interesting thing. He said Luke better not die in episode 8. I was for sure thinking that Luke would die in episode 8, but
I'm not thinking so now.
But since Carrie Fisher died in real life, I can't help but feel like they've because they did do reshoots after her death to kind of make the story
contextualize it. Yeah,
I feel like Luke will now survive episode 8, so that at least one surviving original cast member is in episode 9.
We don't go into episode 9 without any living Skywalkers, except for Ben.
Yeah.
So that's all good. So that's a thing. Also, we really haven't touched on a concern that a few people have, as far as I've been seeing people ask about, like, Luke being potentially a bad guy.
No, not at all.
Or maybe contextualized as a bad guy.
Oh, that scared me. Hi.
So
brought to you by Starbucks. Not really. Oh, thanks.
Sponsor. I want to be sponsored.
Don't you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
She's not coming in.
I don't have makeup on.
Right. I think Luke and Chewie will survive. I think they will. I don't know. It feels too predictable to kill Chewie off like immediately after having killed off Han. That sucks. Or not predictable. It just feels kind of linear and unfulfilled. Although I don't know. There is a great way to do anything.
That's covering my straw.
Yeah. There's a great way to do anything.
So I did have the theory that Chewie, because the pop figure of Chewie is him holding a porg. We have it somewhere around here, and I was like, oh, well, he's obviously going to take a porg off planet with him, and this trailer suggests that is absolutely true. So my two ideas about this porg, one of them has come true. My second theory is that Chewie names this porg Han, because why not? Because his dead friend.
How would we even contextualize that? We've never seen something.
And Rey will be like, you said it, Chewie. His name is Han. I don't know.
It is funny to me they've literally never subtitled Chewie. They have subtitled other aliens.
Yeah, I think it's just funny that they don't, because like...
I know everybody just uses that
Chewie, I agree.
contextualizations, yeah.
And they've got that great, like, Han kind of translates it for us thing.
Yeah. Well, he literally says that in episode 7, where he's like, he can understand you, and I can understand him. You know, or like that whole sort of thing. Also, how old's Chewie at this point? Knocking on 400.
Ooh, well, actually, let me think here. No, about 170, I think.
170?
Yeah.
I thought he was in his 300s.
Well, I think he was about he was about 150 when he met Han. I don't know. That was old canon. You might want to look it up.
Let's see. Chewie's age, canon. Shout it out in chat if you know.
Chewie's age.
Chewbacca age. Let's see. Okay, the film takes place 30 years after... So you can add 30 and 204 and come up with Chewbacca's current age, which would be 234 years old.
All right. I was close.
We were neither of us were right. Although that's a Bustle article. That's not like Wikipedia or anything. Wikipedia also says 234.
I think it's 234. Though.
Chewbacca, Force Awakens. Okay, so as of Force Awakens, Chewie is 234, so we can imagine that he is... Which would have put him
about 204 in old trilogy.
Correct, yeah. That is original Inception.
About 180 during episode 3. He was in episode 3.
Right, yeah, very briefly. As just gratuitous fan service, if you ask me.
And so, when you think about it, his time with Han Solo is only about 40 years out of his 234-year lifespan, but it's been confirmed that he had not cared about another person as much as Han in his entire life.
Right.
You know?
He was he was a general before this, too.
Yeah.
Because, or
during
some
the
sort
Clone
of,
Wars.
yeah, some sort of high-ranking individual before the Empire took over. What parts of Star Wars are still canon? All of the movies. All of episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rogue One is canon. All of the Clone Wars animated, or not the animated, it's not the old animated series.
Yeah, just Star Wars Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, and every Marvel comic that has come out since 2012. That's all canon.
So
pre-2012, like all the Dark Horse comics that are really good, gone.
Nope. Yeah, Shadows of the Empire. And
Shadows of the Empire. It is the most savage tragedy that Shadows of the Empire is no longer canon. It still fits perfectly within canon.
It does.
And certainly Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels have done a great job of reintroducing the Black Sun cult and, you know, mercenary group into the Star Wars canon. So Black Sun is canon. Is Prince Xizor canon? And if so, does that mean Shadows of the Empire could still be canon?
Yeah.
I think so. So, you know, we'll see.
Oh, important question from Mystery Ninja. Oh, also, iJosh points out that in the old canon, prior to the elimination of the EU, or prior to the propagation of the EU, what is now the EU, Chewbacca owed Han a life debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think that's still a thing.
That might still be a thing. I don't know that we confirmed it, though.
A book that came out last year called Life Debt, which I think...
Oh, okay, gotcha. So I think that is still canon, although did it happen exactly the same way? I don't know. Josh, maybe check out Life Debt, the book, because I believe the book is canon.
Well, one thing that is definitely not canon anymore is, what was it? It was a Star Wars... I can't remember if it was a Star Wars comic or an Indiana Jones comic. I believe it was a Star Wars comic where Han and Chewie find, like, the remains of Indiana Jones or something. Or the reverse, where Indiana Jones goes to a jungle and finds the, like, beat-up old Millennium Falcon. One of those things happened. I can't remember. Either way, it's not canon anymore.
That can't be canon. That can't exist. Some parts of the Old Republic are canon, but not the whole thing. Very, very few parts of the Old Republic are canon.
Yeah, if it was
almost nothing.
Only like the little tiny hints that they've given in Star Wars Rebels are canon, because the creator of Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels, which is oh shoot, I always say his name and I can't remember.
I can't remember it either.
Well, that guy, he loves Old Republic more than like
Old
anything.
Republic fanboy.
He really wants Pablo Hidalgo's job, and for people who don't really know the Lucasfilm
hierarchy
staff, Pablo Hidalgo is canon. He is the one that's in charge of what is and isn't canon.
Yeah.
And the guy who made Rebels and Clone Wars, he wants that job. And considering a lot of people are... Because, like, people... this was literally something that Pablo Hidalgo did. People are like, well, Pablo Hidalgo, what do you think about Grey Jedi? He's like, there's no such thing as a Grey Jedi. Either you're a Sith or you're a Jedi. There is no in between. And people are like, what? Are you serious?
And people lost their minds because there's so many hardcore Grey Jedi fans out there.
And, again, the creator of Star Wars Rebels then called him out. And he's like, well, I have Grey Jedis come up... Like, Ahsoka is a Grey Jedi. And that comes up all the time in Star Wars Rebels. And so there's this little back and forth. So Pablo Hidalgo would not be surprised if he lost his job at some point in the next couple years and then the Rebels guy took it.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
it is Dave Filoni.
here's what I just tell everybody who's like a big Old Republic fanboy is we're just waiting for Dave Filoni to overtake Pablo Hidalgo, because the day that happens,
we're getting an Old Republic movie.
Old Republic is going to start turning its way into the canon. Pablo Hidalgo, and I don't disagree with a lot of Pablo Hidalgo's standpoints. I am a little bitter about the fact that, Old Republic is obviously something so much that I enjoy.
He's definitely coming from canon from a marketing point of view.
He is. He's a businessman. I mean, he's good at what he does.
Because he's like, okay, should this be canon, and can we make money off of it? Which is not bad. Again, Lucasfilm, Disney, it's a business, guys. They have to make money.
They have to make those decisions. And somebody has to.
Pablo Hidalgo has always been on the fence on, like, I just don't know if anybody's going to really be interested in something 3,000 years before Anakin Skywalker, which is a valid point to him. However, the massive amount of people that are into Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic,
and
people,
EU, in general,
if you watch Star Wars Rebels, you probably like EU, and you probably like the Old Republic, and a lot of people like that stuff. And here's what I'm saying: if they just make a good movie about it, people will watch it.
Yeah.
So it's up to someone to make really good pre Anakin stuff.
Who did Rogue One?
Rogue One was by Gareth Edwards.
Get Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, Gareth Edwards.
Old Republic.
He would do that. Yeah.
It would be savage, and it would be so cool.
I'm kind of disappointed that he's kind of stepped back a little bit, because Gareth Edwards, if you guys don't know, his movie before Rogue One, he did the Godzilla remake, which I thought was pretty good. He backed off of doing the sequel for some reason. I think he just wants a break.
I get the impression that doing a Star Wars movie has to just be the most murderous process on your brain and soul, because directors drop out all the time. It's and Spielberg went crazy.
Look at JJ after 7. Look at Rian Johnson after 8. Look at Gareth Edwards. Literally, if your name isn't Lawrence Kasdan from Empire and Richard Marquand from Return of the Jedi, every single one of those 5 or 6 people I just mentioned, they all said, "I'm done with Star Wars."
Yeah, we're done.
If your name isn't George Lucas, you do not want to keep coming back to this thing.
Yeah.
You know? So and again, it makes me think, like, if I could transition a little bit into that Han Solo spinoff coming out, they got Richie Cunningham, Ron Howard to direct it, for better or worse. He made some good movies in the 80s. His last 10 years, but
Richie's for once, and I think Han Solo movie might be the only topic of discussion where you are more optimistic than I am. It might be the only one.
I think hopefully it'll still turn out good, but I'm saying if you're going to get Ron Howard, remember, Ron Howard and George Lucas, their careers kind of started at the same time, because this was pre-Happy Days. American Graffiti, directed by George Lucas, starring Ron Howard. They've been friends for decades, and they kind of both have that same old mentality of, old school mentality of how movies are made, which is why they brought in Ron Howard, because they thought he could kind of bring a George Lucas aesthetic to Han Solo, since it's supposed to be like right before Episode 4 or whatever. Why didn't they just get George Lucas? That's my only question. Just get George Lucas. Are they afraid that so many of, like, the quote-unquote new fanboys are going to be like, "Oh, George Lucas"? I got news for you guys. There was a lot of problems in the prequels. Not every single one of those was George Lucas's fault, okay?
No, it's almost like thousands of people work on these movies.
Yeah, almost, but really, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you can blame George Lucas for maybe a few things, but always remember, this is the man that created the damn thing that we love so much.
You can't hate him.
I think he knows a little bit about it.
You're contractually obligated not to hate him. It doesn't even matter how old and crazy and senile he gets. He gave you Star Wars. It came out of his brain.
I think that George Lucas working under the new Lucas, like, if he could just be, like, humble himself to work under Kathleen Kennedy, the person he hired in the first place, by the way, to just kind of like, okay, let me do my Star Wars movie under, like, the guise of this thing, and, we'll compromise. If he could do that, and I honestly don't believe he could. He's not a guy who compromises. But if he could, his knowledge of Star Wars, his obvious knowledge of Star Wars, and his actual, like balls to the wall, shoelace style, old school film school style, with every, I think he could have done a great job. But instead they go to Ron Howard. I would still, before he dies, I would like George Lucas to direct one more movie. I would really like him to direct one more movie.
I'd like to see him. The guy's good. He's one of the best. Yeah, and I'd go see any George Lucas movie. Even a Garbage Fire, the George Lucas movie. They have charm. They do, and he has a means to sort of infuse it.
I mean, look at your DVD. Pick up any DVD in your house. I bet you on the back it says THX on the back. That's George Lucas.
That's him. Marty Man was asking about going way back to original trilogy. How you felt about, just to kind of throw some mud in the water, as far as George Lucas is concerned, how do you feel about the remastering of the original trilogy?
Never bothered me. So many fans get bothered to be like, oh, they added this, they added that. Growing up, I mean, I loved all the Star Wars movies from before I can even remember. The remasters, or what they call originally the Star Wars special editions that came out in 1997, they put them back in theaters with the new special effects. I was 10, and I was like, whoa, that's so cool. I loved all the new editions, especially the ending battle, the Battle of Yavin at the end of A New Hope. All the new CG shots we were able to see behind the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters falling. All of those were great improvements. People get hung up on the little things. Oh, Han not shooting first, CG Jabba, all these little things. People get hung up on those. First of all, I love the addition of Jabba in A New Hope. I think it really connects the beginning and end of that trilogy. And second of all, it doesn't matter if Han shoots first. No, I'm sorry I have to say, it really doesn't matter. The point is Greedo dies. Who cares about the semantics in there? You guys get hung up on the dumbest shit.
I have to answer the question directly. I have 3 hang-ups. One, and none of them are with Empire. I had no issues with remastered Empire. I thought
Empire's
it was
perfect no matter what.
Perfect. I think remastered the shit out of Empire, and I loved everything they did with it. 2 of my hang-ups are with the original. I liked CG Jabba, but at one point they went so far out of their way to correct Han Solo stepping over his tail.
Oh, the whole jump thing?
Yeah, that seemed really
That looks
hitchy.
a lot better in the 2006 Blu-ray edition.
Okay.
Because what happens is, 97 you get the very, like, bad-looking CG.
Yeah,
job.
that's
and
the only one that I know, yeah.
8 years later, when the Blu-rays came out, they changed his whole thing completely. They made a much better model of Jabba.
Okay.
It looks pretty good now. It looks better than the one in Episode 1, the Jabba.
Yeah.
And
I didn't like that initially when it came out, and I actually am a Han shot firster. I actually am one of those guys where it's like, I think things work better that way. I love transformations.
Okay, if I have to have an opinion on it, I mean, Han shoots first, I guess. I'm just saying I don't care.
I don't care that much, but
me.
but if someone asked me, like, hey, which one is better? Han shot first or Greedo shot first? I would 100% of the time say Han shot
He
first.
shot Greedo in the dick.
He shot Greedo in the dick!
Kinda looks like it.
Kinda, yeah. So, that's all good.
I mean,
a bunch of people in the chat talking about how cool it would be if Force Unleashed was still canon. Force Unleashed was pretty badass, but I think it does clash with Rebels.
The original, again, that original 1997 edition, what's up?
Give me that blue container.
There you go. I see you got a cat with you, too.
Would you like a trade?
I'll take the cat.
Oh, we get a cat.
Trade blue container for cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that, when they initially added stuff to Star Wars in 1997, it did look really bad when, like, Han didn't shoot first and Greedo kind of lazily shot to the sides. Like, why would he do that?
Yeah, Greedo was apparently a famed bounty hunter and, like, really good shooting. Why would he just biff a shot at point-blank range?
I agree that was bad, and that, of course, is what started the initial, like, hang-up about
really
it.
unauthentic.
But, again, I feel like not a whole lot of people have watched Star Wars since, because as of the Blu-ray, they shoot it exactly the same time, and it's kind of like this. Boom! And it just so happens that Greedo... It makes it look like Greedo was just going to fire, like, a warning shot, and then Han just kills him.
Right.
Which is fine. The point is Han kills Greedo, and he's a badass. Whether it's at the same time, afterwards, before, it's like, come on, guys. It's like a millisecond. My
last hang-up is, they went way out of the way to make that really long musical number in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
And here, I kind of liked that song, but I didn't care for that edition. I was like, if there was one thing where I was like, that didn't need to be there, that would be it. So other than that, I think the remasters are a really good idea, and to Richie's point, they've really smoothed out a lot of that with the Blu-ray. However, if I had to say my 3 things about that, 2 of which are pretty much almost totally rectified, my one big hang-up is, like, that musical number in Return of the Jedi just doesn't need to exist.
Here's the history behind that musical number in Return of the Jedi. It was actually planned in 1983 or 1982 when they were filming it. And,
yeah, they obviously had cutaways for it.
Yeah, they had, though, the puppets, and the puppets just weren't working. They couldn't... George Lucas wasn't satisfied with the puppet work. Jim Henson was actually sick that day. and couldn't come in to do puppet work. And a lot of people know Jim Henson was responsible for a lot of the puppet work in Star Wars.
Which is so
And
cool.
Obviously Frank Oz was responsible for a lot of the puppet work and obviously did the voice of Yoda as well.
That Sarlacc, the new Sarlacc and the remastered, ooh, it's so good, I just.
There was, I love the beak. People have problems with the beak. I love the beak.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
way
so
more sense.
What happened was Jim Henson was getting sick, and Frank Oz was not feeling well, and there was a lot of problems. Like during the scene where Leia is choking Jabba, her heels went into the midget, the little person, the dwarf. I don't know what's politically correct anymore. The Tyrion that's in there. There's about 6 little people that are controlling Jabba the Hutt, and she was pressing so hard that she actually her heel impaled one of them. They survived, but it was bad, and they were like, okay, no more puppets. And so when everybody was sick and they couldn't get the puppets to work, they're like, let's just not have the musical number. So of course in 1997 George Lucas is like, let's finally do that musical number.
Computers!
It's one of those things where it felt like, just like the musical number in episode 4, even though there wasn't any lyrics for that, it might have worked in 1983, but for some reason just doing it with computers in 1997 didn't translate well for people.
It also felt like an afterthought in 97 because we had an expectation of Jedi at that, Return of the Jedi at that point.
Yeah, so I don't hate that musical number.
I don't hate it.
It's a little jarring, though.
It can go.
It can go.
It doesn't really mesh with the feel.
I agree. That's the one thing out of all the editions.
I feel like they worked so hard to create a really tense, opening for Return of the Jedi. It's just really tense. There's Luke. He says almost nothing. He doesn't even, he barely even does anything other than just very calmly threaten Jabba. There's all this palpability, Han's coming out of Carbonite, the Han and Leia romance is there, and it's, really quietly tense. They're being ushered to be executed, and then, out of nowhere, obviously I can recite it, so it's there in my brain, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. And then there's a lot of things that I can't believe they didn't enhance when they enhanced it in 97 or on the Blu-ray, which is please, for the love of Christ, fix when Luke ignites his father's lightsaber for the first time in A New Hope. It still looks like crap. Come on. And then, it's just and then
hello, Gyro.
The lightsabers in Empire and Jedi, too. It's you're putting CGI Jabba in this movie. Can you please make those lightsabers look a little bit better than, I get hung up on little things, too. But... anyway.
Yeah, right.
That's the one thing. I want better effects. Fix the effects you already did.
We shouldn't be able to be cooking out better effects for Legacy than they do in Star Wars Remastered. You're spilling chocolate all over your left side.
Oh, shit. How did that happen?
For starters, I don't want to talk about Legacy, but the beam sword effects in Legacy. Ooh! Ooh! Okay, anyway, moving on. That had to have been the loudest thing. Okay. Yeah, right.
I spilled stuff on me.
You
Oops, I
did.
pooped.
Fit.
Nobody remembers that video.
Oh, yeah, raise your hand if you remember that video. Raise your hand if you remember fit. From, what is it, Hurricane Survival?
Hurricane Survival.
Way back. Was that on Random Pro?
That was on Random Pro.
Oh, man.
Not even on my channel.
Yeah, right? Oh, man, that's super OG Rich Alvarez. It's before Rich Alvarez channel. Okay. Anyway. That's a thing. Oh, Jacqueline Alvarez raised her hand. Yeah, she was in that scene. She was
very much in that video.
Yeah, so that's I guess that is what it is. Shoot, I think we have about addressed everything.
We sure have.
Anyway, let me just go ahead and summarize summarize, I should say, the extent of there. We're very hyped for episode 8. You remember Hurricane Survival, SC, Fahrenheiter? Yeah, that's dope. I also saw your question about your comment about the fan art earlier. To which I say, we don't really have any overt suggestions, but if you have any inspiration and you want to send us some fan art, we love fan art. We put it on our walls, in our houses.
Yeah. By the way, this is fan art. That's fan art. You can't see up there. There's some other fan art over there.
There's fan art over there. There's a lot of Morning Coffee Run fan art. Yeah, okay. So, we love fan art. So, if at any point anyone's like, hey, could I do some fan art? Yes! The answer is yes!
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have any, overt suggestions or things that we need. We kind of have an official artist. I mean, Morning Coffee Run, Archie Casey is more or less the official, unofficial, sort of serial artist of Rich Alvarez. So that's the thing. So that's good. And but yeah, we love fan art. so that's all good. December 15th, get here soon enough. Can't wait. November 25th, can't get here soon enough.
I would like November 25th to get here a little
sooner. I mean, well, it will because of the way time works.
Yeah.
But that's all good.
Oh, thank you, Gyro Ford. He says, Richie, I like your maroon sweatshirt. It's actually rich burgundy, but that's okay.
Easy there, pal. So yeah, the JT Man 620 brings up something that is central to all of our hearts, and the idea that, like, a lot of us are keeping the extended universe canon right here where it counts. And you know what? Yeah, as far as, like, don't go on... My biggest recommendation to you, like, don't go on web forums and fight with people about what is and isn't canon. It's just unproductive when there's one person who actually physically gets to factually dictate what it is. But what you keep alive in here, and what you like, and what you accept as part of the Star Wars story, I'm sure if George Lucas was sitting in this room right now, he would tell you, make that a part of your experience, and make that a part of your story if it helps. So
I just hope, one hope, someday they make Shadows of the Empire canon and do a movie or a show or a cartoon.
Yeah.
And if not, maybe someday we'll do something equally as cool. Who knows?
For sure.
Anyways. Alright, guys. Do you have anything else you want to say about Star Wars?
No, I just have my traditional sign-off, which is, as many of you know, we are... Obviously, you guys are here. It means you like the live format. You can check us out where we stream all the time on Twitch. Many times a week on Twitch. I am twitch.tv/The Complaint Department. This is Rich Alvarez Games. You can find the links in the description for Rich. You can find my channel through Rich's channel. Maybe consider popping us a follow if you like the live format. We're not going to speak too much more on Legacy, in terms of fan updates and whatnot, but maybe one more video. We've kind of said all that we can say on Legacy. Legacy itself will contain the first official teaser for Special Project, which we are very excited for, in the form of an after-credits sequence. Our life, basically, until then, is just really chugging away on getting Secret Project prepped and making Legacy absolutely bombastic in the coming weeks. So, if we do have more radio silence, please forgive us. It is absolutely because so much of the usual things that we do, video game fights, video game talk, sort of stuff like this, a lot of the other episodic content is literally just being sidetracked right now so that we can just finish Legacy.
There's literally been a video game fights in the oven for over a week that should have gone up on Saturday.
But we were filming, so
we've been so busy I just didn't have time to get to it, and I may not even get to it for this Saturday. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Do we want to talk, before we go, do we want to talk about video game fights a little bit and what's happening?
Maybe. Someone asked you how you made the Mario hats. I think, did Jax make them?
No, I made those, back in 2004.
Yeah, just felt and craft glue, right?
That's right.
Felt and craft glue, my man.
Yeah, anyways, video game fights?
Video game fights. Video game fights is wrapping up its second season. If you haven't checked out or what is video game fights, consider giving it a look. It is a very entertaining video game debate show that features here on the channel and has seen a fairly consistent weekly release. It's not really very popular, which is kind of a bummer. We really wanted to see it get more popular, but hey, that's YouTube.
That's life.
We produce stuff all the time that just doesn't quite take off. Hence why our next project's going to be episodic.
So anyways, we have one episode that'll be coming out soon, hopefully. And then we are filming another one. You're going to get 2 more episodes of Season 2, and I think that's where Season 2 is going to wrap up, and then we will maybe do a 3rd season if people want it and we feel like doing it later. What do you think?
If there is a big outcry for more video game fights, of course we'll get back on it. Yeah. But most likely you are going to see we've got the next episode will be the second to last episode of the season. We are then going to film a season finale sometime soon, which we think is just going to be an absolutely ridiculous, super ridiculously fun episode. Just crazy absurd shenanigans, and then at that point video game fights is going to be taken and it is going to be placed on the shelf next to Stupid Mario Brothers, where it will stay until either public outcry or schedule availability brings it back.
And so, again, we are working on a super secret show that we'll start working on.
Occupies low-key 95% of our brains at all given.
But of course, just like Mario, it'll be an episodic thing that will have a season and then take a big break and then hopefully have another season if it does well. But, as always, I need something episodic on the Rich Alvarez channel every single week or close to it.
It's not profitable in the current YouTube spectra. It's tough, and there's just, you can see everywhere on YouTube, episodic content is just dying.
Right. So besides this super secret project that we're working on that will be a major show, we also need something easy to work on weekly. That's what kind of Video Game Fights has been trying to do, so that we have something fun and easy to do in the weeks that you're not getting like a stupid Mario or something. But unfortunately, Video Game Fights itself, just like the first season, and we've made improvements in the second.
Oh, yeah, quite a bit.
But even still, it's proving to be kind of a difficult thing to keep up with every single week.
It's tough.
So Garrett and I are actually technically we're developing 2 different shows then, because one of them is the super secret project, and one of them is just like an easy thing to do every week.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll mean that you guys will be able to find us on the iTunes podcast list pretty soon.
I guess we can talk about that. We're kind of developing a podcast. We're thinking about just calling it Video Game Talk. I know that I had Video Game Talk before, where it was like a
the Video Game Talk podcast / live show.
Because Video Game Talk in the past, if you know, like people love talking about video games. Like those Video Game Talks actually did pretty well, but it was mostly just
take care, JT.
Me talking with rolling pictures and whatever. So we're thinking about doing more of a live podcast format where you actually see me and Garrett talking about the games. Then we make an audio version that goes up on iTunes, etc., etc. And just doing a video game podcast, because why not? And we want to do, the goal actually, I think, is that we'll do multiple of them. Like we'll record a couple that will go out like a couple different times during the week, and then we'll do at least one live one every week.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
That's it. I think that's it. We could ramble on all night, but it's 8 o'clock, which I think is a great cutoff point. We've been going for about an hour and a half. So we'll thanks so much. Hyped for episode 8. Hyped for future content coming out on this channel. Hyped for Legacy. I'm feeling good. I hope you guys are feeling good too.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the Rich Alvarez channel. Subscribe to youtube.com/Rich Alvarez. Subscribe to twitch.tv/Rich Alvarez Games. Subscribe to twitch.tv/The Complaint Department. We are here when you need us. If you like listening to us talk, you're going to enjoy everything we do. All right, guys. Thanks very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.